Coming up on Look Today, well, New York State Assembly will vote tomorrow on an important bill that will protect critical habitat land in Washington County. I've got details. And Saratoga PLAN finalizes a perpetual conservation easement to preserve the Carpenter Farm. More on that coming up. Plus, Granville School District votes to end a tiebreaker for a position on the School Board of Education. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm J. Hood Jackson. This is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Pat Tutts. She's chairwoman for the Wilton Democratic Committee, and she's here to talk about local politics in the town of Wilton. And I sit down with Hank Ashton. He's a director for the Youth Restoration Program for the Adirondack Model A's. And we're joined by Marv Livingston. He's the president of the club. And they're here to talk about a very unique and important youth club that engages teens in the process of restoring classic cars. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, the New York State Assembly will vote tomorrow on an important bill that will protect critical habitat land in Washington County. Now, the bill in question will enable the state of New York to pay property taxes on Greenland's important bird areas throughout Washington County. Now, this will help keep conserved land and ultimately save birds that are endangered. Well, we spoke to Lori LaFond, affectionately known around here as the Bird Lady. She's executive director, Friends of IBA.
This has been done in 20 other towns, and we're really pushing to get it through the Assembly. The session ends tomorrow, Wednesday, and we're hoping to get everybody to call. Numbers on our website you can find. Call the majority leader, call the House Speaker, and call your Assembly member and tell them you want them to pass this bill. It's really vital to helping us conserve property or land in the important bird area.
Look at that land behind her. It looks like a painting. We also spoke to her about how critical these lands are for the birds.
This will provide critical habitat for breeding birds. It will provide habitat for our wintering short-eared owls, which are endangered in New York State. There's less than 100 left in the wild. And they used to be one of our most common owls. This is right in the heart of the IBA.
Wow, let's protect these lands. In other news, well, Saratoga PLAN finalized a perpetual conservation easement to preserve the 59-plus acre Carpenter Farm. Now, the property is located in Galway, and it's situated in a rural historic landscape with a lot of scenic charm, by the way. Now, Donald Carpenter has donated the easement to PLAN to conserve the land for agriculture, forestry, wildlife, and water resource protection. Well, Maria Trapka, she's executive director of PLAN, will be on for an interview with Donald Carpenter on Thursday to talk more about this. All right, switching from news to weather. Had some heavy rainfall again, but the skies today were really beautiful. However, more chance of thunderstorms later on. So let's see how the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thanks, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser with your first look weather forecast. Currently, we have a potential tropical cyclone trying to make its way towards the Gulf Coast. That's going to bring heavy amounts of rain, and flash flood watches have been posted that could receive as much as 8 to 12 inches in a few spots along the Gulf Coast. We have a stationary front boundary making its way through the Gulf Coast states, and also connected with this cold front boundary that made its way past our viewing area with high pressure trying to make its way into the viewing area, and that could mean a few scattered showers for the overnight. 50s across the New York State, as well as into our viewing area. Saratoga Springs looking about 58 degrees, forever 59. As we head towards Sioux Falls, temperatures will be in the upper 50s as well. We're calling for 58 degrees for the overnight hours. So we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, maybe a slight chance of a shower, 58, as I mentioned, with that southwest wind about 11 miles per hour. Few showers possible, 79 for our Wednesday. Looking at partly cloudy skies, 63 to 65 degrees through your 8 a.m. hour. And our extended forecast. We're looking at beautiful skies for our Thursday as temps reach the upper 70s. Friday, could see a chance of thunderstorms as that warm front tries to make its way through, and then we cool back down somewhat on Saturday, 81. You expect a high under partly sunny skies. Another beautiful weekend is ahead. Just got to get through some light rain showers, and then we'll be dry primarily for the remainder of the week, except for Friday, of course, as we'll be in the upper 80s for highs then. So that's a look at our first look weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponsler. Now I'll send it back to you, Jesse.
Thank you, Clarence. Back to the news. The president of the Saratoga Prosperity Partnership, Marty Vanix, has stated that he strongly approves the Empire State Development funding for Global Foundries. Now, this funding will help create and retain more than 400 high-tech jobs. Now, Marty noted it's this kind of investment that will lead to other future growth in the local manufacturing industry. Now, we're going to be talking to Marty as well later this week in an interview for more details. In other news, well, we've got continuing coverage of our look at education. Well, residents of the Granville School District voted today in a special election. The special election will determine a tiebreaker between two officials for the final seat on the district's Board of Education. Well, J. Murray McHugh tied with Philip Burke after the recount. Do you believe it that they tied? We spoke to the interim superintendent of the school district, Mark Duty.
We had a tie vote for a third board seat at our May 16th election, so we're having a special runoff today.
Now we're going to have results for you in tomorrow's news. Well, up next, I sit down with Pat Tutts. Now, she's chairwoman for the Wilton Democratic Committee, and she's here to talk about local politics in the town of Wilton. Plus, I also sit down with Hank Ashton. He's a director for the Youth Restoration Program for the Adirondack Model A Club. And we're joined by Marv Livingston. He's the president of the club. They're here to talk about this very unique and important youth club that engages teens, guess what, in the process of restoring classic cars. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. We're running short on time, so just a couple of things. Tonight, New Queensbury Town Board meeting. But tonight we're going to take you out with a look at one of the restored cars that the Adirondack Model A Club put together with the youth in that youth club that they're talking about. I mean, it was such a pleasure to meet Hank and Marv, and to give these kids the opportunity to use their hands, their minds, their social skills, and create something that's really a rolling work of art, and to look at that and have that memory for the rest of their lives. Okay, that's it. So that's it. I'll see you tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Here is that car.